The factory key has uses now? What is this bullshit? This game's done. We're done with this game. This is stupid. Sorry, you guys. I was just channeling my inner Reddit there. What's shaking, nerds? Welcome back to a new series I'm starting called Tarkov Tonight. It's going to be a weekly show, sometimes bi-weekly if it's a really slow week. I am going to be aiming for every Monday, though, for this to drop, and you guys can easily digest what's been happening in Tarkov the past week. So that has to do with the traders, that has to do with the hideout, or even what BSG has dropped on their Twitter. Today, Nikita just dropped something on Reddit, and I really want to talk about that first. One last thing is I don't catch everything. I keep my ear to the ground as best as I can. I try to talk to people about changes that are happening. Some of the community members come to me and talk to me about it, but sometimes we all miss them. So if you see any changes to the game, let me know about them and I can put them in the next week's segment. You can just email me at tarkovtonight@gmail.com and it would mean the world to me. So thank you and let's get started. So like I was saying, Nikita himself dropped something on Reddit about all the changes that have been happening the past week, and this is what he had to say. I'm sorry, but you will have to find these changes by yourself. It's because we're simulating changes directed by the AI. In real life, they will do it without warning. They see demand, track shortages, and make changes they need. Later, we will add a feature. Traders will send you a message about upcoming changes if you're in good rep with them, have good karma, etc. That's the reason why we can't tell you about the changes after the actual changes are applied. Additionally, the reason we can't tell about changes before, because people who can log into the game quickly after the change note, they will stock up on goods on the old price trades and have advantage to speculate on the flea market. You have to understand this. Of course, it's not a perfect system, but it is actually in a big test. So sorry for the inconvenience. The good thing is that it's game balanced in the way Tarkov should be experienced. P.S. Item, weapon, gear parameters changes, though, need to be declared. I agree. The big thing we should take away from this is they're talking to us. That's the big thing. Nikita is trying to have a conversation with everyone and tell us what's happening and why certain things are happening and why certain things aren't happening. The big thing is why things aren't happening. So he's not going to tell us that he's changing, say a recipe in the hideout, because then people will buy out everything they can because they probably know that that item is going to be harder to get, i.e. sugar. Sugar used to be super easy for us to get. Now it's a lot harder. So if he would have told us this change is happening, maybe someone wouldn't have put up all their sugar on the flea market. Maybe they would have hoarded a whole bunch. Maybe they would have just bought out the flea market completely, speculating that it's probably going to go up, 100%, 200%. And the other thing I really like about this is he's telling us, hey, item, weapon, and gear parameters, if we do change them, we need to talk to you about them. So let's take, for instance, ammo. If they change something in ammo, they have to tell us because it's so important. And that's what they did this week. They changed a bunch of ammo and they told us about it. Most of the changes they made were very insignificant, very small. You probably wouldn't even notice while you're playing, but two are. And that's the M856A1 and the M855A1. So with the 856A1, they changed damage from 56 to 51, and they changed the pen from 34 to 37. Now they changed M855A1 from 57 damage to 44, but they changed the accuracy from 0 to -10, and the penetration from 31 to 40. Now, this is bringing up a lot of debate in the Tarkov community on what ammo you should be using, because right now, M995 is the end-all be-all for your M4s, your 8Rs, whatever you want to use. It's the king. But the problem is, it went from $4 around earlier in the wipe to now $7. And you know what? It sells out within I think 20 minutes of a trader reset. It sells out, even with a limit on it, it sells out super fast. So everyone's speculating, hey, what ammo should I use now? That's up to you guys. I am getting mixed reviews. I'm still probably going to use the 856A1, but some people are saying, hey, I think the 855A1 is not only better, but it's not tracer. So I really like that. But in the comments below, I really want you guys to tell me what you guys are using, what you prefer now with these changes. And I did just look at the market. I just looked at how much M995 is, and actually I was wrong. It's not $7. It went up now to $8. That's 100% increase since the beginning of this wipe. But thankfully, we now can craft M995 in our hideout, and they did make a change to that trade. So let's go take a peek at it. So now you can craft M995 on your workbench level 3. You can get 140 rounds for 1 green gunpowder and 1 OFZ shell. But a lot of people were saying, hey, this Eagle green gunpowder, it's super hard to get. We need a trade for it. So now we can craft green gunpowder. And what we're gonna need for that is we're gonna need 2 M67 grenades and 1 smoke grenade, and we get 1 green gunpowder for it. And while we're at it, let's talk about some more recipe changes in the hideout. When new players ask me about what to craft in the hideout, the first thing that comes to always my mind is the Vepr AKM 209 for 2 weapon parts. You can do this from workbench level 1, and the old recipe at workbench level 2 used to be 1 weapon part for an AK-74M. So you'd get 2 AK-74Ms out of 1 VPO 209. Great deal. Now they kind of changed it. Now not only do you need 1 weapon part, you also need the polymer AK-74 foregrip, and you also need the polymer stock for the AK-74M. This is still a banger of a trade. I'd still recommend it. You know, if you have workbench level 2, you should always be crafting these things. If you're a newer player, you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck, even if you just sell the AK-74Ms themselves. But it just takes a couple extra things now to make the AK-74M. Still worth it in the long run though. The last of the big, crafting changes are this recipe that they just added. It's for 5 car batteries, and what you're gonna have to do now is you're gonna get 1 tank battery, 1 Leatherman multi-tool, and you trade that in, and it takes about 2 hours 45 minutes at workbench level 2, and you can get 5 car batteries for it. In the end, I really like them adding and taking away stuff, only because now, if you didn't need a tank battery for your quests because you've already done that quest, they're kind of useless. You just sold them. But now they have some sort of use to them. This is what I love about crafting. It makes somewhat useless items valuable now. And that's what I think it should be like in Tarkov. No item should be useless. It should have some sort of purpose to it. And they're making that happen, you guys. We're gonna change gears here now and talk about the trader changes and, the barters, or if it costs more for an item or less. Spoiler alert, everything costs more. The one thing I want to talk about first is my go-to body armor. That's the Reddit M. They changed this, and I can't believe no one's freaking out on Reddit about it. It seems like they should be, because this used to be 105,000 rubles and you could get 2 per trader reset. Now it's 226,000 rubles and you can only get 1. That's more than 100% increase. This is ridiculous, you guys. I probably will never use this armor again. It's just way too expensive. But hey, they changed it. On to the next one. The next one being the Gen 4 High Mobility Kit. This used to cost 3 GP coins, and they just changed it, I think today or yesterday, to 10 GP coins. And with this one, I have heard rumblings about people complaining. It is understandable. 3 GP coins was a little bit not enough, sorry. It was a little less than what it's worth, but 10 is quite a bit. They are going for about 27 to 30,000 per GP coin right now. It is what it is. We're just gonna have to deal with this. The last trade that I noticed that's really big change, and it's mostly for me because I like to get this gun when I just needed, something right away. I didn't want to build a gun and take time out of the stream. I would just be like, okay, I'll just jump on this gun right away. This gun used to be 2 GP coins. Now it's 3. So it used to be roughly like 60,000 rubles to get this AK-74N. Now it's roughly 90,000. I don't think it's worth it anymore. I probably won't make this trade. I'm not sure what I'm going to use my GP coins for anymore because I mostly used it to get this gun. What do you guys think? Put in the comments below what you're using your GP coins for, because I've got a bunch that I need to use up. Now, I think we can all agree the big news of the week was factory exit key actually having uses. And I don't mean that by like, oh, it's useful now. I actually mean you can only use it a certain amount of times. If you guys don't know, factory exit key used to be, unlimited use, and then they patched it so it had 25 uses, and now it has 50. This is something that's really odd, only because most keys that do have some sort of limitation on them, it's because there's something behind the door when you open it that's very valuable. So they don't want a whole bunch of hatchlings to just use that key and spam it over and over and over again, and there not to be some sort of consequence. Factory exit key, though, having some sort of limitation on it is a very odd one. I don't know why they did it, but they did feel like they had to. And for about 30 minutes until we found that Jaeger trades for it, the world was on fire. It was going crazy. Everyone was going nuts. But then we saw Jaeger had some sort of trade for it. So if, say, your factory key is done, it has no more uses left in it, you can trade that key plus 4 lunchboxes plus 1 MRE, and you'll get a brand new factory key. So after we all found out about this trade, I think, everyone calmed down a bit. It wasn't the end of the world because these items are easy to get. To me, I don't know what my opinion is. My opinion, now that I know that there's the trade, it's okay. It's fine with me. These items are easy for us to get, like I said, so let's not burn the world down yet. But I have to tell you, for 30 minutes there, I was a little upset. I'm not going to lie. I was a little choked, especially when it had only 25 uses. I was like, what the F? If you use it on customs, that's 2 uses. God damn. The BSG Twitter did show off a lot of new things this week also, and I'm guessing most of it you have to wait until next wipe for. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the SVDS silencer. The SVD does need a silencer. It's such a loud gun. It is a banger of a gun on, say, Woods. You need it for one of the Punisher quests, so it's just going to make the quest a little bit easier, and it might make the gun, be used a little more, because if you use it right now, you can hear that thing from a mile away, so everyone rushes to you and they know generally where you are. Now it's going to be a little harder, and you can be sneaky with SVDS. That's pretty dope. We do need something else to be sneaky, and that might be a Russian Spetsnaz machete. I'm really sorry if I said that wrong. I asked my Ukrainian girlfriend how to say it. She told me. I tried to copy her. She says it's so friggin' good, and I say it like a Canadian, I guess. Anyways, so there's a new melee weapon coming. It is the Russian machete. I don't know what to say other than we don't need it. Only because everyone just wants the ice pick. Does the machete get us out of any other maps? No? Then everyone wants the ice pick because we need it to get out of reserve. So it's cool that they're adding more things, but who gives a shit? Because I want my ice pick. Thank you guys so much for watching. The video is getting pretty long in the tooth, so I do want to call it here. There was a couple more things that Battlestate Games did release, but you know what? We'll get to those another time. I really hope you like this new series I'm starting. A lot of times we have to find out on our own or through the grapevine what they changed. So if I kind of put it all in one place, I think, and I hope you guys appreciate it. So if you haven't, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can watch next week's video. Also know I do stream 5 days a week on twitch.tv. Come on by, say hello. And until next week, I'll talk to you nerds later.